I started to measure the shower walls and ended up recruiting my dad to help me with the walls because he's been doing tile professionally for the past 20 years. But recently he retired from it.
Wow, congrats.
So he offered to help. As you can see, he started tiling from the bottom and working his way up. He didn't back butter the tile, but used big blobs like this, enough to cover the entire tile. They were big enough to give him some room for leveling as well. Leveling your first row is very critical as it sets the entire layout and ensures that the walls come out straight. We also used these self-leveling clips that made it so much nicer and easier to level the wall. And before you know it, we were done with the first main wall. Next, we installed this gold schluter on this side of the wall and began tiling this wall. Again, starting from the bottom and working our way up. There isn't much to comment about doing a shower tile other than just take your time. On my last bathroom remodel series, tiling the shower probably took me the longest, and this is why I asked my dad to help.
Thanks, Dad.
This thing right here is awesome. Makes it so much easier to do the top stuff.
Anyway, we saved the mosaic piece for the very last part in the center of the wall where the shower head is. And here's what the wall ended up looking like. I ended up using the same mosaic for the backdrop of the niche, and I really liked how it turned out. Smash that like button if you agree. After that, it was time to remove the self-leveling clips. Let me tell you, it was pretty satisfying breaking all these using a mallet. Next, the shower tile was complete, and it was time to transition doing the floor. I removed the baseboards, ripped off the old tile, which I have detailed instructions on how to do in the links below. First, I dry laid out my tile and made a perfect hole for the toilet drain using a paper template and taking my time with the saw. And what do you know, it was a perfect fit. I don't know why, but I decided to start tiling from this corner by the vanity over here and moved my way closer to the inner wall. I guess the idea was so that I could work in and out from the wall.
Day 10. So I got my water, my mortar, and I also laid these out and cut these 3 pieces. So now I'm gonna finish that corner. Let's go.
I started with the 2 tile pieces in the corner and then moved on to the next section. You can tell I'm cheap since I made my own knee pads with a trash bag and a pillow. I don't know why I still don't own a pair of good knee pads.
Oh, cheapskate.
I continued tiling the bathroom utilizing the self-leveling clips. This was my first time using these clips, and let me tell you, they were a game changer. My biggest mistake doing tile this time around was I ended up taking like 3 days or so to do the whole bathroom. I recommend trying to lay out the tile in one day, especially for a small place like this. That way everything's nice and perfect. Before continuing, I used my handy dandy oscillating tool and trimmed the door trim so it's easier to get the tile under it. I also trimmed my laminate that is in the master bedroom to make a straight, nice transition. I laid out the transition piece, which was the same decor piece from the shower, to bring the design all together. So this is the only tile that's left to replace. As you saw, I damaged it over here.
Well, that sucks.
I still went ahead and tiled the rest of these. So this is the only one I need to replace. I don't know if this was a good or bad idea to do this way, but I didn't want to stop. I wanted to continue with the progress. So now we're going to take it out and see what we can do. So first, I'm going to take this small piece off because it's already broken, so it'll be easier. Oh, yes. That was painful. So just take the screwdriver and get that old cement off the edge. And the reason why we're doing that is so that we have more room to fit the new tile. Otherwise, this stuff is going to be in the way. And then just clean it up. Since I had the broken piece, I decided to overlay it on top of another new piece and trace over it. Then I used my tile saw and started cutting it out. Piece by piece, it was done and ready to go. And here's what it ended up looking like. Of course, it was a perfect fit again. Next, I back buttered the tile and I was finally done with the floor. Next was preparation for grouting. I went through and removed all the leveling clips by kicking them off. It was quite satisfying doing this, but I recommend you use a mallet instead. I took my utility knife and began cleaning the grout joints by removing the cement that was in all the joints. Using the utility knife, it seems to be the best way to clean your grout joints since you can remove from the top of the tile as well, or even get into the really messy grooves. Then make sure you sweep the floor to get all that stuff off. So I mixed some unsanded grout so I can grout these small joints. And the problem I'm running into now
is I made a little too much. Because the idea was to just grout where the toilet is and do some baseboards around. That way I can install the toilet and continue with this remodel. But thankfully I cleaned up this entire area. So we'll see how much I have left over. Worst case, I'll have to grout a little bit of the shower. So let's go. Grouting is very easy. Just slap a couple and then you just go. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a lot left. So if you have markings, you can use this float to kind of like sand it down, like pencil markings or something, just to wash it off. Yeah, I got way too much. So let's hit the shower. Thankfully, a lot of it is gonna go on this mosaic.
Next, it was time to clean it all up. Typically, you want to take your time and wash it as best as you can the first time, so that way the final wash is just to make it clean. And I can't forget about the small area in the shower as well. Next, it was time for the shower mud set. Shout out to my brother who came and did this next step for me. As you can see, he even has a professional mixture like this that made the job much easier for mixing. This is because he does this stuff for a living, and it took him about maybe an hour to finish the entire shower floor. And the results were amazing. I probably would have spent at least double the time, if not more, messing with it, doing it myself. Finally, the last part of the tile was the shower floor. Doing the shower floor, it's typically not so bad since the small pieces are on the mesh, but cutting them can be rather annoying, especially the small pieces along the edge, and doing the little pieces around the drain, because these pieces are typically cut one at a time.
Attention to detail. Smash that like button. And just like that, the floor in the shower is done. Now I just gotta grout it all, and the tile is finally done. This is probably my least favorite part, is doing the tile. It just takes so long. But anyway, to be continued.